Yo, what is up guys? It's Pedro here, and in today's video I'll be talking about Marshon Lattimore and how he was very good in his debut with the Washington Commanders, and we'll talk about Benjamin St-Juste and how he played 3 plays and had one penalty, and how he's kind of getting phased out of the cornerback room, and Mike Sanders still has been balling out as well. If you guys new, make sure to subscribe. We're less than 200 subscribers away from 14,500. Please help me get there. Takes 1 second. It's free. Also, make sure you guys check out BetUS, who is sponsoring today's video. So yesterday was Marshon Lattimore's first game, and he did not disappoint. Played 53 snaps, which was most out of any cornerback for the Washington Commanders yesterday, and had 0 targets against him. And obviously 0 targets, 0 catches, any completions, any touchdowns. So that's, was great to not hear his name once. I mean, obviously you would like him to get a pick or something, but that'll happen eventually. But the best thing is not hearing his name once. If you don't hear his name once, then that means he eliminated one side of the field. And next week against the Eagles will be the true test, going up against the number 1, a top 10 receiver, probably top 5-ish, but top 10 for sure, in A.J. Brown. So that's something that's going to be a bigger test and much more eye-opening to see how he does in that game. He's obviously, maybe he'll completely shut down A.J. Brown, but he'll give up some catches for sure. At least that's what I think. But if he can keep him in check, that's a lot better than what we've had in the past. And you can let Mike Sanders still, who balled out yesterday, had an interception, was making some plays, should have had another one, honestly. Not going to fault him for that, because he had the other one that, wasn't super easy. It was a nice interception, second of the season. He is turning out to be a very good pick by Adam Peters. So he had a good game. Marshon Lattimore had a good game. It's looking like cornerback isn't much of a need right now for the Washington Commanders heading into next season. They filled one of the holes with Mike Sanders still, and the other one with Lattimore. And Noah Igbenogany has been solid, honestly, in the slot for the Commanders. So I like what they're doing there. And Lattimore having playing 53 snaps, allowing 0 targets, 0 completions, 0 yards. You absolutely love to see that. And yeah, I forgot to say earlier, I was trying to list all the different stats. I said touchdowns, but I didn't say yards. Obviously, if he's not getting targeted, he's not going to allow any of that stuff. But it's just refreshing, because we haven't had a cornerback like him in a long time. And he did play with the Saints the whole time, so it's a little bit of a revenge game for him. But they practice against him all the time. He practiced against them. So I think it's kind of even in terms of, some people are like, oh, he's going to play better because he's watched them practice or he's practiced against them all the time. But you can say the same thing for those receivers. So I don't think it's a big deal. I want to see what he does, though, against the Philadelphia Eagles. And, Mike Sanders still did a good job last game against, A.J. Brown and Devonta Smith. Honestly, the defense held its own in that game for the most part up until the end of that game. They did pretty well. And Mike Sanders still was a big part of that. He was doing well on A.J. Brown and Devonta Smith. So to be able to have 2 good cornerbacks on those guys, that's going to be good. That's going to be really good for the Washington Commanders. And I think they got to take advantage of that. And then maybe the run defense can be a little bit better in this game, because that's more what hurt us in that game. You look at the snap breakdown in the game. I'll show you guys some clips maybe in a second. I'll also talk about some other guys that balled out. But Lattimore played 53 snaps. Mike Sanders still played 50. So he's right there with Lattimore. And then Noah Igbenogany, who is the slot guy, nickel. So he's not going to be playing in every package, but most of the time. And he played 38 snaps out of 55. So a decent amount there. I don't know exactly what the math is on that, but I'm assuming like 75%, 70-ish%. The Benjamin St-Juste played 3 out of 55, and one of those he got a penalty, which that's just I'm sorry, that's sad. You played 3 plays. 3 plays, and I don't even know how many of those were passing plays. It might have been just 1 passing play, maybe 2, and he has 1 penalty. That's why he wasn't, that's why they traded for Marshon Lattimore, because of plays like that, because Benjamin St-Juste is way too handsy, and, it might have been ticky-tacky. I don't know. I don't completely remember. I think when I first saw it, I was like, is that really a penalty? But the thing is, when you're a guy like St-Juste, he was not a top corner, and you're known for these penalties, they're going to call it on you. So, I mean, yeah, that was just ridiculous. And that's not going to help his chances of getting more PT for sure. Real quick, a word from today's sponsor. Make sure you guys check out BetUS. They sponsored all of last year, this channel, and this season too. Use my code YouTube150 to get 150% sign up bonus on your first 3 deposits up to $2,000. A really good deal. And yeah, use my code, you get 150% sign up bonus. So make sure you guys check them out. They got a bunch of different things going on right now. So you got college basketball, you got NBA, you got 2 NFL Monday night games tonight. You got the Chicago Bears versus Minnesota Vikings, and you got the Raiders versus the Atlanta Falcons. That is actually a big game for the Commanders, because if the Falcons lose, that actually helps out the Commanders' playoff chances a little bit. So that's a game that a lot of Commanders fans maybe need to pay attention to. And obviously, you got the Commanders versus Eagles game coming up next, or this coming Sunday. So that's a big game as well. So make sure you guys check out BetUS. Use that code YouTube150 and bet responsibly. So back to the video, we're talking about Benjamin St. Juste and how, hasn't been that great. They got to move on from him after this year. I think it's a foregone conclusion. He's just there as depth. He does have PT, so if it's a lot of, PT. So if he does get his name called, he's not going to be flustered by the moment. Is he going to be good? Probably not. But he can, at least play in the NFL. Just, it's how good is he? I don't know. And I mean, actually, we do know he's not that good, but he is better than some of the corners on the, that are in free agency right now. But there's definitely other guys that they could get that are better than him. There was a couple guys that they brought in that, for workouts, and maybe I was like, maybe they're going to sign him. And honestly, some of those guys probably better than Benjamin St. Juste. I think they're just going to ride it out with this cornerback room for the rest of the year. Maybe they'll bring in a guy or two, like practice squad guys-ish, maybe some of the guys that they worked out. But Benjamin St. Juste isn't a part of the rotation really anymore. And after doing that, it's not going to help him out. It's not going to help out his case. 1 penalty in 3 plays. No, Igbenogany has been good for the Commanders as a slot guy. Yeah, maybe you could do better, but honestly, I would just keep the keep him in the slot right there. And maybe you can draft a guy in the middle of the draft, like day 2, day 3, and try to develop him later on. But I like what Noah Igbenogany is doing, and he was a first-round pick as well. So that's just something to think about as well. So I want to go over some the plays here from Marshon Lattimore, just so you guys can look and see what he did. Shout out to Mason here for showing the clips. But here's just some of his plays from the game, going over there, shadowing the receiver really well. And he was just doing this all game. All right, sorry, I had to cut out a little bit, was getting a phone call. That's why. I don't know if you guys heard the buzzing or whatever, but that's why. But yeah, basically, if you want to check out the whole thing, go ahead and check out Mason Kinahan on Twitter or X, whatever you want to call it. He posted the full video, 9 minutes of clips from Marshon Lattimore in this game. So if you want to watch the whole thing, go ahead and check it out. I'll show some more clips right now, but it's not a lot. It's not very interesting because guess what? He wasn't getting targeted. He was playing really, really well. I mean, unless you're DB, it might be very interesting to see, but for the most part, did a good job there. And yeah, I mean, he didn't allow a target, so you can't get much better than that. And yeah, I mean, maybe the tackling wasn't great. I was reading some comments. I didn't see all of it, but maybe the tackling wasn't the best, or he wasn't as aggressive as some of the other guys. Like Mike Sanderstill, he's aggressive. He's aggressive. He's going to go in for the tackle. He's going to put his body on the line every single play and try to make a play. And Marshon Lattimore, he's a little bit older. That's not necessarily his play style. And there's nothing wrong with that. There's just different types of players. But yeah, you guys can go ahead and check out that full thing. And just some other stuff from today's game or yesterday's game, wanted to recap. Jaden was good in this game, 2 touchdowns, no interceptions. I will say, the first Terry throw, that was an overthrow. That was a bad throw. You got to make that throw. The second one, after watching it back, Terry probably could have made the catch and also might have slowed down a little bit. So that one's not on Jaden. Was it a perfect throw? Maybe not, but that's not on Jaden. And the third one, it's a little bit underthrown, but it's not on Jaden or Terry because that was clearly a PI. Clearly a PI. Should have gotten the ball at whatever, the 2, the 3 yard line, maybe the 1 yard line. And yeah, so that's not on Terry. That's not on Jaden. It was slightly underthrown, but because it was underthrown, Terry still had a chance to catch it. But then he got hit before he even caught it. And that was a good throw by Jaden, and Terry was in position to make the catch, and he won his route. He just got interfered with, so missed call there by the refs. Besides that, I'm trying to think. Run game wasn't amazing. Jaden was good as a runner. 11 carries, 66 yards, 6 yards a carry. A bunch of big conversions that he had. Terry was good in the game. 7 catches, 73 yards, 2 touchdowns. Again, had that kind of drop, but besides that, was good in this game and was getting open consistently. Defensively, the defense was solid. That they just at the end there were getting beat a little bit by Spencer Rattler. Chin was good in this game. Wagner was good. Forrest wasn't so good. Mike Sanders still was good. Jeremy Chin and Zach Ertz are in the concussion protocol, so something to watch out there for this game against the Eagles. Hopefully they're able to get both of those guys, but if not, we will see. Jordan McGee was hearing his name a little bit, or maybe not hearing his name. The announcers weren't saying his name, but I was seeing his name on the back of his jersey a few times playing on special teams and a couple of times on defense too. I saw Michael Walker playing a lot, or at least a little bit. Not sure why. It seemed like they were changing things up a little bit coming out of the bye. Michael Walker was getting some snaps. Derek Force was getting snaps. So interesting there. We'll see how it continues there. Offensively, I would have liked to see more from Luke McCaffrey and Ben Sennett, especially with the injury to Zach Ertz and also injury to Noah Brown, and KJ Osborne wasn't even playing this week. Like these guys, the targets got to go somewhere. And Terry got 10 targets, but I mean, come on, we got to see a little bit more from these guys. I know they're rookies, but I want to see more from them. And I know some people are going to be like, oh, it's on cliff, but at a certain point, like they got to start making plays. And I think Luke McCaffrey has made some plays, and he has been open at times, and he hasn't been getting the ball. I think recently it's been a little bit less of that, and he's been getting fewer snaps. But Ben Sennett, I've been a little bit disappointed with him. I want to see more from him. He's got to get open, and if Zach Ertz is out, let's see what he can do. John Bates came in there, had a nice catch. I mean, Ben Sennett had a catch, but this guy's a second-round pick. I'm sorry. And maybe people think I'm being too hard, but like he's got to be better than what he's been. And it's still early though. It's still early for sure. I'm not saying he's a bust or anything. It's so early for that, but I just want to see a little bit more from him. If you guys get what I'm saying there. But the rookies, Johnny Newton, I thought he had a solid game. There was one time he missed a tackle in the run game, but early on he drew a holding penalty. So that isn't. I mean, it's basically as good as a sack. So that was a good play by Johnny Newton. And he had some other plays where he's involved. He's always very, very, active and a lot of hustle. So you always see him, even if the runner's 7-8 yards down the field, he's usually there, or a lot of the times if it's on his side. So Johnny Newton's a good player, or he's a young and upcoming player, and I like to watch him play for sure because of his hustle. And let's continue to see these good games from him. So yeah, some of the rookies started to show out in this week. And Jamison Crowder, I mean, I love to see him back out there. It was good to see him. 3 catches, 27 yards on 3 targets. Also had a nice little return. I think he'll be a solid contributor there the next few weeks for the Commanders. But yeah, thanks for watching. Hope you guys enjoyed. If you guys did stay till the end, which I think some of y'all, I mean, whoever's watching now is, comment down below the record prediction for the Commanders the next 3 weeks. Thanks for watching, and check out BetUS. Peace.